Next speaker is Max Miller.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. I am Max Miller, and speaking for CQLM. You know, many of our residents feel that we've been, frankly, abused by the city of Murrieta. A person goes down, he has a lot, and he says, I'd like to build a house. The answer is, no, you can't build your house until you donate a certain amount of your property. Someone goes down to the planning department and said, well, no, I'd like to split my lot, and here's my plans. No, we can't accept your plans. However, submit another set of plans where you've donated a substantial amount of your land. Consider it. Well, there are laws about that. There's the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, and there's state law that specifically speaks to this. It says no local government entity may condition the issuance of an entitlement for use on the applicant's granting of a conservation easement. Specifically. Well, people are very disappointed. Some people have said, well, all right, I'll look into giving part of my land. I have to do it because conditions dictate that I must. Give part of my land, donate. I call that Chicago-style donation. Okay, we wanted to find out just what kind of a document we'd have to sign to donate our land. And it's taken us years to find this document, and we just found it this week. It's called a conservation easement. This is it. 15 pages of legalese that will cause a person to lose, well, they'll never be able to sell their property if they sign that document. Pity the poor fool that signs that document. He's going to incur financial debt that he hadn't dreamt of. And may I mention how that will come about? The property may never return to the owner. Inspectors will enter his property, and they are in a position to issue citations resulting in fines and court action. No recreation is allowed, no trails, no horseback riding. Now, our area is a setup for trails. CQLM wants trails on our property. Citizens from Murrieta could come into our area and enjoy it. Excuse me. No trails, no horseback riding. You can't even plant a tree in that area, in your area. You relinquish water and mineral rights. Well, the city hasn't felt the need to put water mains in our community. We want water mains. We don't have them, so we all depend on water wells. We don't want to relinquish our water or mineral rights. You're required to have a biological monitor for signs of fencing and other things. You're required to have a biologist, in other words. Well, when you hire this biologist, you better make good friends with him because he'll be around for a long time. This guy's going to be there telling you when to put on fences. He's going to be submitting periodic reports. And he's also going to become very well acquainted with your pocketbook. You must sign a compensatory mitigation plan. What in the world is that? You sign it. Of course, this document doesn't tell you what it is. We're wondering, is that an endowment fund? An endowment fund is a fund that you have to place a lot of money down on, whereby the interest will go to pay for the inspections that are made on your property. Well, of course, the grantor must pay the taxes and provide liability insurance for this land.
Mr. Miller, I'll have to encourage you to conclude your comments.
Say again?
I'll have to encourage you to conclude your comments at this time.
I'm getting very close. You're required to have a 45-day notice before you sell your property. Well, that gives them time to get that prospective buyer up to speed, because he's going to have to take over all these obligations. And who in the world would buy your land with these onerous obligations? Would anyone here buy a piece of property with obligations like this? I don't think so. Now, if you become involved in a lawsuit with the enforcing agency, years pass, one aggravation after another. If you get involved in a lawsuit with them, you can only hire an attorney that they approve of. And in addition to that, you have to pay all of not only your attorney fees, their attorney fees, and all court costs. Who wrote this thing? Al Capone? Well, officers of this beautiful city of Murrieta. And let me say, I think that $600 a month is obscene. You should make decent salaries. But officers of Murrieta, I believe you should be fiduciary to the folks. You're hurting us up there, and we're crying out for help, and people are listening. There are a lot of people listening to us outside of our area. So I beg you to take our concerns into consideration. We've left a package for everyone here. It lists that conservation easement. Read it. How'd you like to get bit with that thing? And so I hope that you'll take advantage of it, and I do thank you for your extension of time.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. The next speaker is Ken Whitlock.
My name is Ken Whitlock, live in Murrieta. I've got a little experience with what Max was just speaking about. Approximately 10 years ago, my wife and I purchased 5 acres on Crawford Canyon Road. Upon our purchase, we discovered that our property was in the California gnatcatcher zone. We were informed that if we wanted to build on our property, we would have to hire a biologist at a cost of thousands of dollars. He would have to perform a habitat survey. My wife and I are not wealthy people. We have worked very hard for years to get ourselves into a position to build our home and raise a family in what we considered to be a desirable area. Eventually, we decided to go ahead with the survey. After 2 weeks of walking the property, the biologist found no evidence of the gnatcatcher. This was great news to us, until we were told that the biologist would now return with a tape recorder playing the bird's mating call. This is all true. After 2 weeks of playing the gnatcatcher mating call, the biologist saw a gnatcatcher fly over, and like in the NFL, he broke the plane of our property. The bird didn't land, he just flew over. Well, this is where our nightmare really began. To make a long story short, we were told that to use our land, we would have to give 2/3 of our property to the government. We would have to fence it in to their specifications at our expense. We would then need to hand over tens of thousands of dollars that would go into a trust that would earn enough interest to pay for the upkeep of our property. After consulting with an attorney, 2 years, and much hardship and unnecessary expense, we were finally able to use our property. When the city annexed our area a few years ago, we were very excited. We felt that we would now have an advocate, someone we could count on to protect our rights. Upon seeing what's been going on in our area, people's property being acquired, and hearing of Mary Ann and Max's encounter with the city, we have become very disappointed. As citizens of the United States, we should take our hard-fought and died-for constitutional rights seriously. We elect our city council to protect us from unfair actions, not to be a part of them. Please remember that you, as city council members, are one of us. We thought enough of you to elect you to protect our rights. Please take our thoughts and considerations when dealing with this issue take our thoughts into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whitlock. Next is Todd Horwitz. Welcome, Mr. Horwitz.
Thank you. I'll try to keep this short and sweet. My name is Todd Horwitz, and I am a citizen and resident of Murrieta. I'm also speaking for the CQLM. As citizens of the city, we are frustrated and outraged that we are being charged excessive fees for road improvements, while the city does absolutely nothing to service or maintain our roads. For example, in my case, my family and I wanted to build a garage, a simple structure that would budget out at about $20,000 to build. For road improvement fees, calculating our frontage on our nearby roads, the fees would have cost approximately $125,000 for a $20,000 structure. I've been told that this $125,000 fees would never even been used on our roads, on our frontage roads. The CQLM is striving to restore our Fifth Amendment rights, which includes spending our road fees on our roads. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Horwitz.